Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wolverine Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cotter. Alongside of me is my co-host, Jake Belch. Jake, post Atlanta, baby. We got, what happened this week? Well, we had a race that ended at 2 o'clock in the morning. We had some karaoke on the radio. We had a driver go below the double yellow line, and someone pissed off his Toyota teammate. Man, what an Atlanta race to start off this week on this episode, dude. How are you doing this week?
Good, man. Yeah, it was a great race. Unfortunately, I only got to see the 108 laps, but rewatch what I needed to rewatch the next day. But I feel like it was one of the better Atlantas. I mean, it was a pure domination by the 12 car, and we'll talk about that later. But it was a good race, I think. I enjoyed from what I could watch.
You know,
I'm starting
to man, and we kind of posted this up on our Facebook page at the Broken Wolverine Podcast coming out of this race weekend. NASCAR, if you're listening, the schedulers, if you're listening right now, just like cut the bullshit with Chicago on the 4th of July weekend. Cut the nonsense out with all these different races on the 4th of July weekend. You haven't figured it out since you lost Daytona back in 2019 on the 4th of July weekend. This is your track. This is your track to run the Saturday before the 4th of July. The only thing I hated about this past weekend clearly was it was not Saturday night. Now, I'm not going to blame NASCAR and the weather delay. I'm not going to do that type of stuff on tonight's episode. But man, oh man, they missed another opportunity. They should have ran this on Saturday night.
Agreed. Can't blame them, like you said, for the weather, but still, it sucks.
Yeah, definitely sucks. I mean, clearly viewership, kind of dipped a little bit, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Jake, before we get to tonight's topics of conversation in Atlanta, a couple show announcements. First of all, is you all have been listening to us for multiple weeks now. This show will be live at Richmond. We are about a month away now, by the way. We are a month away from Richmond. We will be down. The Broken Wolverine Podcast will be live at the racetrack for our live episode, second live episode of the season. Hopefully with better coverage than what we did at Pocono. But if you missed us at Dover, you missed us at Pocono, Richmond is coming up. Feel free to come by, stop by during the live episode. We'd love to meet some of you, some of our Virginia followers. You and I have never been to the track, so we're really looking forward to that opportunity this year. But it should be a fun night. That's a Saturday night race, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
Also, if you love what you're hearing, feel free. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, at the Broken Wolverine Podcast. If you miss our live episodes on Wednesdays, sometimes Tuesdays, I know last week was Thursday. I mean, basically in the middle of the week. Miss our live episodes, feel free to follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We'll have our live episodes posted up for your listening viewership if you missed our live episode. Also, smash the follow button on those streaming platforms as well. And finally, feel free to follow us on TikTok at the Brooklyn Wolverine Pod. We will be much better at it going forward. We had kind of a month off of it, which might have not been that bad, in my personal opinion. With how toxic TikTok and Instagram can be.
It's true. A break once in a while ain't bad.
Yeah, so we apologize. We haven't been posting on TikTok, but that's just more because we needed a break. But multiple ways to follow us. And also, finally, if you love what you're hearing, you got friends that if you have friends that want to listen to a fun NASCAR podcast where we're bullshitting with the fans on the middle of the week, go to our Facebook page, click on the 3 period buttons, and you're more than welcome to invite friends to the Brooklyn Wolverine Podcast Facebook page. Feel free. So, Jake, as always, our Blown Engine chat line is wide open on tonight's episode like it is every single week. And we already have a comment on the Blown Engine chat line. Let's check it out. We got at Dickie Dennis 61. He chimes in. He's like, I'm not allowed at Richmond property.
I gotta hear the reasoning.
Yeah, I gotta hear the reasoning on that. You can't open up the Blown Engine chat line with that. I'm sorry, you'll miss us at Richmond, but if you're listen, Dickie Dennison, if you're more than welcome to share that story in the Blown Engine chat line. Feel free to type it out. We would love to read it on air on why you're not allowed that property. It's pretty interesting. And since that's owned by NASCAR, are you allowed on any other NASCAR properties as well? Richmond, Michigan, Pocono, Daytona, Phoenix. There's a lot of tracks. Homestead. I'm curious. I'm hoping we get the full story on that as well during this episode. All right, Jake. Let's take. Okay, we just got word on why he was not allowed at the. I am the Richmond fence climber. Just Richmond, he said. Just Richmond. Okay, that's pretty interesting. We'll definitely have to. I'm gonna have to look that up tonight on YouTube.
Pretty sweet way to go out, though.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, I will say this: I was at Darlington back in 2024, and there was a guy after Brad won the race who literally, freaking bombed out of his mind. I tell this story all the time because it's hysterical. Bombed out of his mind on whiskey. He literally jumps on the catch fence and literally climbed the whole catch fence right in front of our stands. Literally got up to where the point, basically where it started curving onto the track, He was up there. So, yeah, South Carolina PD, really got him down. They don't mess around, dude. Damn. The Richmond fence climber is listening to our show. I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
See, Jake, we're a voice of the fan. I'm just saying. We're a voice of the fan. All fans welcome. If you're banned from a track, feel free to chime in on the Blown Engine chat line. Again, Blown Engine chat line wide open to all of our fans that are listening to us live tonight on YouTube and Facebook. Jake, let's kick off things. Let's take the green flag on tonight's episode. We have a couple of NASCAR news that's going to kick things off with us this evening. I don't know for you, but apparently NASCAR just announced that there's going to be a speedway package change for Daytona. And with this being said, kind of interesting. Speedway package change at Daytona is not going to apply to Talladega. The Daytona package update is going to be a 4-inch spoiler and wide splitter stuffer, same as intermediate tracks. Safety equipment remains the same as current super speedway package. Engine is going to be tapered spacer reduced to 27/32 inches, so equivalent to 465 horsepower. New spoiler braces, spoiler deflection device redesigned to accommodate a 4-inch spoiler. So that's going to be on the That's going to be on the track at Daytona. On the performance aspects, single car speeds estimated at 2 to 3 miles per hour faster than current qualifying. Maximum pack speeds estimated in the same range as current. Dynamic passing maneuver, CFD, indicates completion of a pass with a 5 mile per hour run is more likely with the new package. So, new package update for Daytona coming up in the August race. That's going to be here as soon as you know it.
So we're going to see it this year, which is cool.
We're going to see it, and they're not going to implement it.
Oh, okay.
They're not going to implement it at Talladega. Now, that's as of right now. Now, if this goes well at Daytona, I damn well know for a fact they're probably going to put that package in for Talladega.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the biggest news coming out of the garage this week. NASCAR announced a speedway package change for Daytona. Update number 2, Max Cars Tour will welcome Marcus Smith into the ownership group. So he's going to be joining with Dale Jr. And multiple other owners within that tour. Update number 3, Ric Flair's Flair Spirit sponsoring Josh Bilicki at the Bristol Cup race. Update number 4 is going to be NASCAR continues to pursue international growth. This past week, NASCAR officially hired Adam Layton as the Senior Vice President of NASCAR International. They hired him from the UFC, same role as he had in the UFC. He'll be coming over to NASCAR. And in this role, they will include strategy development, event operations, and revenue generations for its 3 national series in the U.S. and its international circuits, according to company biography, seen by Sports Business Journal. So NASCAR, I mean, I know we didn't go international this year. We were at Mexico City last year. A lot of fans complained about it. NASCAR's being dead serious. They want to be more of an international presence, just like every other sport in this country. Every single sport in this country wants to have an international presence, right? I think that this is a good move for NASCAR. You got to implement the strategy if you want to go international. Obviously, Montreal is probably what every fan wants to see on the NASCAR schedule. But to me, this kind of indicates that Mexico City should be back on the schedule within the next coming years.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico City was all right. I mean, I can understand why everybody didn't like it. When a guy wins by 17 seconds, it's kind of boring.
There was the sad part is did the fans really hate Mexico City because of SVG and his dominance, or did they just hate Mexico City because of all the logistical nightmare that it was?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. Those stands on that one turn, those tall-ass stands were cool. I think it was set
the stadium
up cool.
seating. Yeah, the stadium seating, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you can change that track at all. I don't know if it's set up the way it's set up.
To me, I think it was a logistical nightmare. I don't think the track was bad itself. I think Mexico City last year when we watched the race, I think it was actually it was fun, it was entertaining. I know SVG ended up winning it by 17 seconds. 100% agree. People get turned off by that when it comes to SVG winning by that much. But I think it was a logistical nightmare. Because if you remember last year in the schedule, they went from Michigan, they went down to Mexico City, and then they went right back up to Pocono. That is a lot of travel within 3 weeks. A lot of travel. And I know a lot of the haulers weren't happy going across the border or the southern border, but again, it is what it is. I mean, I do think that they want to go. I think personally they want to be in Montreal. I really do.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. I think that Montreal, in my opinion, is probably the better race course for NASCAR. And it almost feels like they were locked into Montreal in the 2025 schedule, especially with the way that the schedule was set up, right? You had Michigan and then Pocono, and then you had that road course in the middle. I think that they wanted to go to Montreal, so they had Michigan, Montreal, Pocono instead of going down to Mexico City. Unfortunately, I think Montreal probably backed out the last second. They end up scrambling to go find Mexico City. They found Mexico City, and the rest is history. But, with the new Senior Vice President of International Operations, Adam Layton, coming over from UFC, they're promoters, man. They are promoters, and they want to make sure that they have an international presence.
And UFC, as everybody knows, they go all over to different countries to fight. So,
yes, they do. And honestly, but again, though, a lot of the sports in this country, dude, like baseball now has a European game. The NFL is all over Europe this season.
Mm-hmm.
You have UFC who's fighting over internationally. You have WWE that's international. Like, there's a lot of sports that always want to be international, and NASCAR is no exception, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And hopefully it can cut into that stupid F1 racing shit. But anyways, next update. Austin Cindric announced unveiled a new paint scheme for North Wilkesboro this upcoming weekend. It's going to be Freightliner is the primary sponsor, but it's going to be honoring Rusty Wallace. So the Midnight number 2 is back on the track this week with the gold lettering. Car looks pretty sick.
I saw the car. I was like, I can't hate that.
Yeah, car looks really, really sick. I'm excited to see that back on the track again. Basically my childhood right there in a nutshell. Next update. Dollar Tree is going to be named the entitlement sponsor for Echo Park Speedway's Summer 2027 NASCAR Cup Series race. So this past year was the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart. Next year, we're going to Dollar Tree 400, which Dollar Tree is starting to make a little name for themselves in the sport, right? They got the legacy sponsorships. Now they're going to be sponsoring a race. Next update, Simple Tire will be joining RFK as an official sponsor. They'll be on Ryan Priest's car. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nothing
no,
special.
that'll be cool.
And then the final update this week coming from jski.com. Like we always do each and every single week with these race Nelson ratings, since all the old timers and everybody in this sport loves to bitch and complain about the viewership. Official Nelson ratings coming out of the Quaker State 400 this past weekend. 1.5 million viewers across TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. Now, here's the kicker. The broadcast, which concluded at nearly 2 a.m., so that's the 1.5 they had at the end of the race, was 2 a.m. The viewership peaked at 2.6 million viewers and was on pace for an average of 2.4 million prior to the 3-hour rain delay. So can't blame NASCAR.
Wow.
The viewerships were going to be there. Unfortunate circumstances, we had rain in the forecast and we had a 3-hour rain delay, which ended the race at 2 a.m. Very interesting. Again,
Yeah.
all updates courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on X, by web, or by Facebook. Web is going to be www.jski.com. So, Jake, let's pass the mic off to you. Atlanta, round 2, 2026. What do we think of the race this year?
No, I enjoyed the first 108 laps, like I said earlier, that I only got to watch. I thought it was a really good race. That 12 car was just... You're not going to... I guess what I should say, how do I word this? He wasn't going to drop out of the top 5 that entire race, and he didn't. He dominated that entire time. I literally thought when Logano and Cindric dropped, he was going to drop with him. And I was wrong. Another thing that was crazy about it that I thought was wicked was all the Toyotas coming to the front fast. And not one of them started. There was no Toyota that started in the top 5. Watch those guys run right through the pack and come up. Christopher Bell was absolutely incredible. And Bubba. But all in all, the 100. I didn't get to watch the end. I only watched snippets. I really did enjoy the race.
Man, clearly I was one of the fans that ended up passing out after the 3-hour rain delay. Not proud of it. I love to stay up for every single race. Unfortunately, Sunday night, race got rain delayed. I knew they were going to run it. I said, you know what? I'll record it, watch the end of it tomorrow while I'm at work, right? All in all, this is now year 5 that we've completed 2 Atlanta race dates on the new reconfiguration, and this thing just gets better and better, man. This just gets better and better every single year. This is a very, very fun track. This is exciting. This is entertaining. And quite frankly, I think that this track is what every NASCAR fan has been pounding the table on, what they want this restrictor plate package to look like.
Yeah.
They were lapping cars in the beginning part of that race, by the way. They were lapping cars, which is crazy at a restrictor plate track, right?
Yeah, unheard of.
And I'm not just talking about like your, Josh Bilicki or BJ McLeod or Cody Ware got lapped. I'm talking like they got through pretty good portion of the field. I want to say they got up to the 25th place car at the time, which was Ross Chastain. I mean, they lapped them. This was a very entertaining race. I mean, in the beginning parts alone, the packs were splitting. Right? You had the 3 Penske cars that started off in the beginning of this race, and they just worked together. I mean, then Larson kind of caught him. Then the rest of the pack kind of caught him. Reddick kind of caught him. But the biggest key and the biggest takeaway, like you said on your portion, Jake, Toyota. The Toyotas came through that field. None of them qualified in the top 10. None of them. And it kind of all... Yeah, exactly. And it kind of in my personal opinion, it kind of all started with Tyler Reddick going through the field. He started... Where did Reddick start? I'm looking at the stat right now, score chart.
31st.
31st, yeah. Reddick started 31st and came through the field. By the rain delay, he was in the top 5. By the end of stage 1, he was in the top 5. These Toyotas were bat fast. But the one thing I'll give credit to, I know Ford was absolutely a disgrace once again. But I will say, I mean, I know, and that doesn't mean Blaney won the race. Blaney completely put on a showcase of talent. Outside Blaney, I thought the other two Penske cars kind of showed up on the restrictor plate track in the beginning parts of the race with Austin Cindric and Joey Logano. But the other Fords, where were you again? Where were you guys? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I mean, the Chevrolets had their moments, right? I mean, you had the two Hendrick drivers of Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson who were in the front of the field. I know Larson's day kind of ended poorly. Chase Elliott kind of hovered in the top 5, top 10, and then he ended up rounding out into 13th. But, Ford, this was kind of, in my personal opinion, this was a track that I kind of circled and was like, all right, this is where that spark plug, that's where that single's going to come in. They're going to finally get it together, right? Well, Blaney got it together, but Blaney's been getting it together all season long. And the two other Penske drivers kind of had that spark plug, right? Logano ended up finishing 9th in this race. Cindric was 14th, but Cindric on paper he finished 14th, but he actually had a much better day than I think that the result reflects.
Oh, yeah.
But outside that, man, I mean, at this point, we're in Toyota's world and we're just living in it. We just are, and we just need to figure this out, and stop complaining that Toyota's rigged, NASCAR rigged it for Toyota and all that. I know Blaney won the race, but Toyota, in my personal opinion, showed their strength once again with poorly qualifying on a drafting track where it's not like Daytona and Talladega where the field just constantly flips left and right, almost 88 lead changes, right? Atlanta, this type of racing is pack racing, but it spreads out. Toyota's always caught the chain. They just continuously caught the chain. All in all, though, in regards to Atlanta, I love this track. It's time for NASCAR to stop fucking around and just put this damn race the Saturday night before the 4th of July. You want fireworks? This is the track. You want excitement? You want entertainment? This is the track. Oh, did I lose you? Oh, guess I lost Jake there. Well, while we lost Jake, let's take a look at a couple of the Blown Engine chat line comments real quick. Ronald, he checks in. He goes, "Hey guys, Ronald, good to see you again. Hope all is well." He goes, "I stand on this. Bubba Wallace is an idiot." I need to hear more of that as well. And then we got Dickie Dennis 61. He checks back in again on the Blown Engine chat line. "Do you guys know of anything about 2 races in Chicago next season?" While we wait for Jake, I'm going to kind of answer that question. As of right now, in regards to Chicago, like the Chicago area having 2 races, I've heard reports before the race in Chicagoland that Chicagoland. Oh, sorry, folks. Let me just type this out real quick, and I'll finish my point there. Just trying to get Jake back on air. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Just trying to get Jake back on air. Going back to Dickie Dennis's comment about Chicago possibly having 2 race dates in 2027. There were reports before they ran the race in Chicagoland that Chicagoland probably was not going to come back after 2026. There was a report, and I have an inside source that basically told me that NASCAR only went to Chicagoland because they could not get the paperwork done for the Chicago Street Course. And NASCAR kind of needed to throw a Hail Mary. They ended up putting the race at Chicagoland. Now, Chicagoland ended up having an incredible race weekend that NASCAR was impressed. Now, in my personal opinion, this is I don't know anything, like nothing from inside the garage, nothing like that. I do think that we could probably see 2 races in the Chicago media market in 2027. One, you might end up seeing the street course back on the schedule if they can get a deal done with the mayor. And number 2, I personally believe that Chicagoland might be back on the schedule just for next year because of how successful the turnout was this past season. So, kind of hoping that answers your question. Sorry about that, folks. I'm just trying to get word on Jake. Unfortunately, Jake's computer just crashed. So, anyways, so it might actually just be, I guess, the rest of the show, you and I, unless Jake's computer issues come back together again. Hopefully, we can get him back online. Yeah, he's gonna try to get back online. But in regards to Atlanta, in a nutshell, my final point, as I said before, Jake ended up jumping off. I will say that Atlanta should be the Saturday night before the 4th of July race. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think that this race is the excitement that I think everyone wants on that weekend. It's a good recap of what NASCAR is for this country in regards to high speeds, crazy driving, and a lot of fun within a great facility down at Echo Park Speedway. That I will stand on that hill. Again, if you are listening to us live right now on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast and you have any opinions on either Chicago having 2 dates, what's your thoughts on Atlanta? Feel free. Blown Engine chat line wide open for you this evening. Feel free to comment, chime in. We'll have to have a little bit of discussion back and forth with some of our fans this evening. So, there we go. All right. You there? I can't hear you. Sorry, folks. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties on tonight's episode. Unfortunately, Jake's main computer ended up crashing, but he's up and running. He's trying to get back onto the trying to get his microphone set and get the volume set as well. But like I said, I want to hear your thoughts on about Atlanta. Making sure we want to hear from you. What do you think of the race? What do you think that Atlanta should be the Saturday night race before the 4th of July? Feel free, Blown Engine chat line, all yours this evening, and there we go. We got you back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, that was definitely really weird.
The whole screen just went blue, and then it was your face up in the corner, and that was it. That was freaking weird, dude. Yeah. Very
you should take a
odd.
picture of it. Should have taken a picture of it and framed it, you know what I mean?
I'm
all right,
back,
Jake. Good. Thank God, because I was getting tired of, doing this by myself. No, I'm kidding. All right. So we talked about our thoughts about what we felt about Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Atlanta as a race. So let's get to the final running order of this race on Sunday night. That ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, by the way. First up, your race winner this week, Ryan Blaney. He ended up finishing first, qualified first, finished first. Perfect day. Finishing second in this race was Christopher Bell. Finishing third was Carson Hocevar. Finishing fourth was Ty Gibbs. Finishing fifth was Eric Jones. Sixth was Shane Van Gisbergen. Seventh was Austin Dillon. Eighth was Tyler Reddick. Ninth was Joey Logano. 10th was Chris Buescher. Stage 1, top 10. You had Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Carson Hocevar, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, and Bubba Wallace. Stage 2, top 10 was Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, and Shane Van Gisbergen. Your total laps led in this race. Well, Ryan Blaney led a race high 171 laps out of the 263. Then you had Christopher Bell, who led 5. Carson Hocevar led 25. Ty Gibbs led 32. Then you had Tyler Reddick, who ended up leading 8. You had Chase Elliott, who ended up leading 5. Ryan Preece led 1. Josh Berry led a lap. Bubba Wallace led 11. And finally, you had Kyle Larson, who led 4 laps in this race. So that is your final score chart coming out of Atlanta from the Quaker State 400 from Atlanta. Race ended at 2 o'clock in the morning. But Ryan Blaney, man, let's kick things off with that topic. Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, I mean, just fast. And any car that was behind him, he stayed fast. Like I said earlier, I thought he was going to fade with his teammates, and he didn't. Anybody that he could get drafting from, he just stayed there. I personally think Carson Hocevar could have won this race. I think he did a dumb move at the end. He could have won. But at the end of the day, I mean, to leave that many laps at Atlanta is crazy. You know what I mean? Nowadays in this next gen car, what you see is this lead changes all the freaking time. So, I mean, it's just pure domination. It was a great race by Ryan Blaney, much deserved win. The only Ford that's really around, I think, he won the last 6 races that a Ford's won. It's been him. Now.
Yeah. I mean, the last time that last time a Ford driver has won a race, I believe was Logano in Texas last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Blaney, we've talked about this for multiple weeks, and, I mean, my question tonight to the audience is Ryan Blaney the best driver in the Cup Garage at this point? And I get it. He won Atlanta, led 171 laps. People can sit there and say, well, man, it's Atlanta, it's super speedway, yada, yada, yada. But the one thing I will say about this is that he is racing within a manufacturer right now that is totally struggling. Completely struggling. He's the only one that's able to maintain speed with these top guys in the sport, right?
Yeah.
He's the only one that's able to maintain speed with like the Hamiltons of the world, the Reddicks of the world, the Elliots and Ryan. The other thing too that's scary is what Ryan Blaney's able to overcome, right? In the beginning part of the season, I mean, he lost how many spots on pit road due to errors and penalties? It was almost 87 spots going into Texas. The dude overcomes a lot, and on top of it, he's in a manufacturer that's been complete total garbage this year.
Mm-hmm.
So is Ryan Blaney the best driver in the Cup Series? I would say yes, based off of, I would say yes based off of what the driver faces. Do I think that Hamlin's a better driver? I think Hamlin has a way better perfect setup. I think that Hamlin's got way better talent around him in regards to pit crew, crew chiefs, engineer. Blaney doesn't have what Denny Hamlin has. And Blaney right now sits third in the points. But the one thing I will say about Ryan Blaney's win this past weekend at Atlanta that was so impressive, and it wasn't just 171 laps led, it was everything that came with it, right? You touched base on it. Ryan Blaney was able to block every single line that every driver was coming through. When he needed to go, he went. He was able to find the line, ride the line, never panicked. Never panicked. Even at the end of the race where Hocevar got into the front, all of a sudden he had that big lead. Blaney didn't panic. He found rhythm, he found the momentum, and he went. Ended up capturing his second win of the season. But Jake, the biggest thing for me with Ryan Blaney, it's just not the second win of the season for Ryan Blaney. He's only 65 points now behind Denny Hamlin for the points lead.
Exactly. That's what I saw too, and I was like, that gap, man, is dwindling from like what Reddick had, then Blaney, and then Hamlin had a little one, and it's just.
Well, you know what's interesting too. It's like after Reddick, I want to say it was maybe after Texas with Tyler Reddick's points lead. I mean, Hamlin and Blaney were like minus like 114. The script has completely flipped now. Hamlin, points leader. Reddick, minus 24. Ryan Blaney, minus 65. And the thing that's scary, too, is that Blaney's doing this in a Ford.
Yeah.
Blaney's doing this in a Ford. I mean, you talk about a driver that's holding up the flagship for the manufacturer. It's Ryan Blaney in a nutshell. That's why I found this win probably really impressive because down and out, Ford, not great, top 10 speed, but Ryan Blaney just had another level. Added another level. So for all the fans that were listening, or for all the fans that watched, I mean, Ryan Blaney did cross the start finish line at 2 a.m. So, but a big win number 2 on the season for Ryan Blaney. Like I said, he ends up cutting into that points lead again. He's minus 65 now behind Denny Hamlin. This race is tightening up. This points race is tightening up, and it's pretty exciting, man.
Yeah.
All right, second driver I want to talk about this week. Let's talk about the driver of the number 20, Christopher Bell.
Ooh.
And another week, still recovering from the broken wrists, right? I mean, but third straight top 5 for the driver of the 20. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, we said it last week. During the summer, we always want to see what driver's going to rise to the occasion. Which driver's going to rise up during the summer stretch. We see drivers fading. We see drivers moving. This is the time of the year that we kind of indicate, okay, this is a championship driver. This is a championship driver. This is a fraud. This is a champ. Christopher Bell, the last 3 weeks, and what's been most impressive about him is that he's been doing it on a broken wrist. Back-to-back second-place finishes. The win is going to come. It's Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment. The Toyotas have speed. Quite frankly, I thought he was going to be able to capture the win this past week at Atlanta, especially at the end of the race where they were all having nice little runs. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for Ryan Blaney. But, Jake, I mean, we continue talking about in the summer stretch. When is Christopher Bell going to put that car into victory lane?
Yeah.
It could be coming up very soon.
It's a little early. I have him this weekend. I have this weekend with his breakout win. That's just me, but the guys. I mean, him and Tyler Reddick. I mean, you also got to give props to Ty Gibbs, which I can talk about that later. But and Denny Hamlin, but he started 32nd. You know what I mean? He came all the way through the pack, and he was up front. He got up front, like you said, early too. It's just, it's just very impressive with this broken wrist that he's doing this well as well. But yeah, that win, I personally have it next weekend. But if it ain't next weekend, it's pretty damn close. He's got a lot of favorable tracks coming up.
Well, and that's the one thing I look at too with Christopher Bell, right? I mean, you got North Wilkesboro. He's won there in the All-Star race. You got Indy. Not really a big fan of him in Indy, but he usually puts the car in the top 10. Iowa, another short track. It could be something special for him. New Hampshire, got to circle that. I mean, he just always has speed at the Magic Mile.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the Bell win seems like it's coming. And he continues knocking on the door. And like I told you, and like we continuously say, folks, he's been doing it with a broken wrist. He's healing back from a broken wrist that he got at Michigan. Yeah, Michigan finished 31st. Pocono finished 26th. Now, granted, that was more of a strategy that backfired on him. San Diego finished 39th. If you remember, he couldn't finish the race. Mm-hmm. He had to get relief from Brett Cruz. But then, like I said, you got three straight top fives. Yeah, that win's coming. Christopher Bell is getting hot right at the right time. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next 5 weeks, as we head into Daytona, what the next 5 weeks present to the driver of the number 20. We all know that the Toyotas are very fast. He knows how to put the car in victory lane. Now, granted, he is on a winless streak, too. I mean, he has not won since Bristol last year. I'm excited to see what the driver of the 20 can do.
Yeah, me as well.
Jake, I want to ask the audience tonight, like we usually do each and every single week. I want to ask the audience, and I'm going to ask you, driver that you were most impressed with and the driver that you were most disappointed with coming out of Atlanta.
Well, for me, I got to give it to the, I shouldn't say impressed, but just because of their starting position, I got to give it to the Toyota camp.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to give it to one guy, but I got to give it to, like I said, Bell Gibbs. I also got to give it to Eric Jones because he fought up front all night. And then you got your Tyler Reddick and you got your Denny Hamlin. My shout-out was going to be Austin Dillon, but he's typically pretty all right at restrictor plates, so I was like, whatever. He was up there.
You didn't give it to Austin Dillon.
Yeah. I just do the whole Toyota camp is just incredible how they all came from the back.
Yeah.
Not shocked, but still impressive on a track like Atlanta.
They got up there so quickly. That was the biggest thing. They just got there so quickly.
It was just mind blown.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment is going to be, once again, I think this is like fucking 3 weeks in a row, is the number 5 car. Had speed, looked really quick, stayed up there with the Fords in the beginning of the race with the Penske boys. Kept reeling them back in. Came out of the rain break, looked really cool. And it's just stupid decisions every fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing driving into Denny Hamlin? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, guy. I mean, I guess he thought he was clear, but it was not clear at all. It's just, what was it, like 4 weeks in a row you got top fives?
Yeah.
I just feel like since it's just, there's highs and lows this year with this guy. I just don't know when the breakout's going to be. I mean, I hate to keep using him as my disappointment, but it's hard not to when he looked really good halfway through that race when I mean, it was basically almost halfway when the rain came.
Yeah, the thing about Larson too, and again, another week the winless streak continues expanding. Right, we continue talking about the winless streak, the winless streak, the winless streak, and when is Larson going to knock on the door and finally punch the card in the victory lane? Jake, I'm gonna be honest with you. This could be a really, really odd stretch of races for the driver of the 5. Right, we got North Wilkesboro coming up. Could do it. Could do it. Not gonna say he can't. Could.
Short track, yeah.
Brickyard, probably his best shot.
100%.
Probably his best shot. Iowa, don't see it.
No.
Richmond, he's won there in the past. Don't see it. New Hampshire, no. And then Daytona. So, he could be going into the chase with 0 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll make the chase for sure.
Well, I think so too. He's
I don't
going to
think
make the chase.
I think that you're gonna see him fade from that 6th spot. I know he's kind of got a little bit of a buffer between him and Busher. Not the biggest buffer, but he has a little bit of. I personally see him fade when you start seeing Bell. Bell's gonna come up. Hosefar is kind of getting back on that what he had in the beginning of the year. Like, he just looks really good. Hell, I mean, Hosefar could be looking at another win here soon the way he's been racing, but I personally see him going to the chase. He's going to be 10 or below, which is going to be, like we've talked about in the beginning of the season, like everybody said, if you're not in that top 6, it's not going to be easy.
Well, he's got, like I said, I mean, it almost feels like he's got to capture a win soon. He's got to capture a win. If he wants to stay within championship contention, he's got to capture that win. And like I said, I personally think his best shot's Indy. I think it's going to be Brickyard 400 as his best shot. The rest of the season, though, going into the chase, dude, it does not look good for me. It just doesn't. No. And could you imagine this? Could you imagine us going into the race number 1 of the chase, and we're sitting there still talking about this winless streak of his?
It's not going to look good like it already does. I mean, it's going to look worse.
I mean, he has not won a race, and I'm looking at. I have his stats right in front of me. It's baffling to me. It's baffling that he won the championship last year and he has not won a race since Kansas in the spring.
I know. I mean, lucky for him, he was just stupid consistent last year.
44 race winless streak right now. 44. And then, like I said, I got the stats up ahead, right in front of my face. 2024, he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He won 6 races in 2024.
Well, last year he won 3.
He won 3 last year, and he's on a 44 race winless streak. I mean, it's something's got to give here with Kyle Larson. I mean, each and every single week, it's like either he's got a car to put in the top 5, not race winning speed, or he ends up boneheaded decision and ends up wrecking. Now, it always listen. It's not the sky's not falling on Kyle Larson at all. He's 6th in the points. He should be pretty good in regards to that. I don't necessarily think. I mean, you were talking about Busher and Bell possibly climbing up past them. I could see Bell getting high at the right time and then Bell creeping up and probably. I mean, I could see Bell by the end of this, stretch. I could see Bell probably 4th in the points.
Yeah, if he stays like he's hot like he is, yeah.
Yeah, I could see Bell probably 4th in the points by the end of this stretch. Now that would bump Chase Elliott to 6th, Kyle Larson to 7th, Busher to 8th. Now, do you think that Busher is going to be better than Larson throughout until the chase? Probably not.
Probably not.
So you're probably going to, I mean, like I said, you'll probably see Bell slide up and then the rest of them slide down a little bit.
But here's the thing, Matt. One last thing on Larson now you want to talk about. Say he doesn't win in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
So, I agree with you. I think his Indy end this week, and then I really think it's going to be tough for him. But then you scroll down, it's like, okay, the next race I talk about that Kyle Larson has dominated in his career multiple times, Bristol in the chase. But is Bristol going to be too late to win a race? When you're in the chase, is that going to be too late? He He ain't doing anything on worldwide. He ain't, recently in Darlington, he has sucked.
Yeah.
And it's just like, will Bristol be too late for Larson to put in victory lane? I 100% think it is. If he does
Hey,
not
but-
capture a win.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't capture a win, it could be Bristol. It could be his first win. I mean, because like I said, once we get past Indy, I could sit there and say, like, you're probably looking at that stretch of Bristol, Kansas, Vegas, and Charlotte. Now, that's a really nice Kyle Larson stretch, though.
I mean, yeah, that could be
That's
four
a
top
really
fives
nice-
right there.
That's a really nice Larson stretch. That's going to play out pretty nicely for him. Bristol, Kansas, Vegas, and then Charlotte, they're back on the 1.5s. They're not the Roval anymore.
Yeah.
That could be a really nice stretch. You could probably see a win in that stretch. But then Phoenix, Talladega, Homestead, and Martinsville, I don't see Larson as a championship threat. I just don't.
No. I mean, I feel like ever since he won Martinsville, it just hasn't really been there. Homestead usually has issues. He's not a super speedway. He's not going to do anything in Talladega. And Phoenix, call it as is, luck came in his favor last year. But
Yeah. I want to check myself too before we get off of Kyle Larson. I said that Larson hasn't won at Richmond since I said Ganassi or a long time ago. I stand corrected. Larson's last win at Richmond was 2023 in the spring.
oh
So
yeah,
he's won there
that's
in the
right.
He's won there in the next gen car. So
Yes.
I mean, maybe Richmond you may circle, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, for Kyle Larson, this is a tough sled, man. This is really, really. It's a very interesting.
Ain't nobody winning at Richmond if fucking Austin Dillon's in the top three.
Yeah, well, that is true. I mean, that is very true.
Maybe
So-
we get to watch that live this year.
Yeah. So your biggest surprise was the whole Toyota camp. Your biggest disappointment was Kyle Larson. My biggest surprise this week, folks, Shane Van Gisbergen put the car in sixth. Talk about a driver who's getting close to that chase cutoff line and all that. He still slid. He still slid in the points after a top 5 or top 10. It fell to Cindric, who by 1 point. So Cindric's in 14th right now. SVG's in 15th. But again, we continuously talk about it. Is SVG going to get better on circles and ovals and all that type of stuff? Well, you can't deny that he's getting better, right? He's getting better. He's putting the car in. Again, you need to get consistent. If SVG wants to be a chase driver, he's got to find ways to put the car in the top 10 on the ovals. Biggest disappointment this week for me, I'm going to go Brad Keselowski. I've been saying this every single week, I feel like. Qualified 10th. Great. Awesome. Brad's back. First 5 laps. Hits the wall. Sayonara. We'll see you next week at North Wilkesboro. Done.
Matt, that happened. I literally, you're the first person. I'm like, Matt has his freaking head in his hands right now. Like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, this fucking guy can't catch a break.
Dude, I just got nothing to say at this point with Brad. I just don't. I mean, and my biggest thing was, again, the beginning part of the season, I was pretty excited about Brad because we were back in the chase. He was excited about it, very enthused. Consistency. He started off pretty good, consistent, and all that type of stuff, dude. I mean, he's 19th in the points. I mean, he ended up gaining a spot. I know why. He gained a spot because AJ completely shit the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane how bad. Like I said, he hits the wall. Sayonara. We'll see in North Wilkesboro. That was the end of the day for him. That was the end of the day. Now it's within the first 5 laps of that race, dude. I got nothing to say about Brad. That's my biggest disappointment this weekend. Again, we want to hear from you. Fans listening live. Biggest surprise, biggest disappointment. One end chat line, wide open for you. Tell us who your biggest surprise, biggest disappointment was this week. I want to touch base a little bit again on a driver you mentioned, Eric Jones. And Eric Jones did hover in the top. He qualified 11th, hovered in the top 10 all day. Ended up finishing this race in 5th. Eric Jones, dude, I'm looking at his stats, and this is a driver. It's like, can Eric Jones make the chase? He sits 16th in the points right now. He is currently 8 points ahead of 17th Joey Logano. I will say I think Eric Jones has an advantage over Joey Logano going into this stretch of races. I don't think Logano's that great. I think Logano got very good on restrictor plate race. He had a really good points day on Sunday, jumped him back up in the points. But in regards to Eric Jones, can Eric Jones make it into the chase? And I gotta say yes, dude. I mean, since Texas, Eric Jones has only one finish, 21st or worse, and that was at Sonoma where he finished 23rd. He finished 20th at San Diego, but he's not a street racer. But like, here are these numbers, right? Texas finished 12th. Watkins Glen finished 19th. Charlotte finished 13th. Nashville finished 11th. Michigan finished 2nd. Pocono finished 6th. San Diego finished 20th. Sonoma finished 23rd. Chicagoland finished 15th. And Atlanta, he finished 5th. So over the last 10 races, he has been consistently within like the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
If it all averages out, it's about 15th, right? Consistently in the top 15. I don't know what happened at Legacy, and I don't know where they found this on-sun speed, but Eric Jones has got to be feeling it and riding the wave. I mean, this is now, in the last 6 races, that's his second top 5.
Yeah.
I would 100% say he's got the advantage over Joey Logano.
No, I agree with you.
So, yeah, I mean, does Eric Jones make the chase? I mean, man, I'm going to say yes. At this point, I think I've seen enough out of the 43 and Legacy cars that Eric Jones, not the Legacy, Eric Jones's car, that I got to give credit to where credit's due. I think he ends up finishing this out, and he ends up riding into the sunset into the chase.
Which is huge, man, because this is a big stepping year for him.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Even and that team.
We kind of alluded to it in the preseason shows about Eric Jones, right? Like, I even alluded to it back in 2025 when we first started Toyota Race Preview. I was like, what are we looking at with Legacy Motor Club? Well, I need them to start consistently finishing in the top 15. You know, that was year 2. This is now year 3 in Toyota. Eric Jones has been doing exactly what I've been asking him to do. I can't complain.
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain.
Yep.
All right. Final driver this week I want to touch base on. The Hurricane, Carson Hocevar. Finished 3rd in this race. Man, it's got to pay to have some friends, dude, on that track. It's got to pay to have some friends on that track. Most likely, in my personal opinion, probably should have won this race. Really should have won this race, but it's Carson Hocevar. He's got no friends out there. But the one thing I'm going to say about Carson Hocevar, and right now Hocevar is incredible on restrictor plate races. Since the beginning of 2023, Carson Hocevar on restrictor plate tracks in 17 races, he's got 15.6 average finish and 1 win, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, only 54 laps led, but he is ranked number 6th. And if you take the part-time drivers out, he's the 3rd best driver among full-time active Cup drivers on restrictor plate tracks, only behind Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick. I kind of said this to somebody this past week. I said, I'm not comparing him to Dale Sr. I hate the comparison. Really hate the comparison. But I've never seen a driver in my life run on a restrictor plate track with 0 help and still have the car in the front outside Dale Sr.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was very impressive.
Again, no help whatsoever on that track in regards to friends and all that type of stuff. And the dude still puts the car in the top 3. And again, probably should have won the damn race. Probably should have won the race, dude. Man, what a season it's been so far.
It's been a great season.
It has been. Honestly, I was just looking at it as I'm typing in some stuff, and I'm like, damn, we've had so many storylines throughout the 2026 campaign so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going all the way back to the 2026 Daytona 500, right? Tyler Reddick ends up winning. I was a Chase Elliott guy, ends up wrecking. And then, you know, Reddick goes on that three race winning streak. And then, you know, you had the rise of Denny Hamlin. And then it's been a remarkable start. I mean, it's been a fun season. Honestly, it's been one of the best seasons I can recall. I feel like I say that every year. But this one's really good. This one is really good.
It's just... I just feel like you and me both have been just so mind blown for things that have not like mind blown, just very surprised things that have happened this year that we didn't predict in the beginning of our first episode before the season that we didn't have on our bingo card. You know?
Yeah, I mean, even think about it. We're over the halfway point in this season, and the biggest, one of the biggest takeaways for me is how bad has Trackhouse Racing been? Full-time drivers, right? By the way, congratulations, Connor Zilic ended up finishing every single lap this past week.
Yeah, shocker.
But it's like, how bad's Trackhouse been? I mean, Toyotas and how hot. Spire's been a surprise. Hendrick Motorsports, Byron's on the verge of, falling out of the chase. On top of it, he's getting into fights with Rudy Fugle. Like, there's so
Hilarious.
many storylines that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
That was my
But there's
highlight
so
of
many-
the night.
But there's so many storylines in this season. Like, Larson's winless streak. Logano's on a winless streak.
Bell.
Yeah, Bell. I mean, track placements on the schedule, right? We had Watkins Glen in May. Very stupid, but we got it in May. San Diego Street Course turned out to be the best road course race in the next-gen car. I mean, there's been so many awesome storylines throughout the season. And on top of it, Jake, we also have the in-season tournament. We have the in-season tournament in the bracket, right?
Yeah.
That we didn't even touch base on. And I'm going to pull it up right now in a second. I'm going to pass the mic off to you. But there's been so many interesting storylines throughout this whole entire season. Like I said, Reddit got hot. Toyota, NASCAR rigged it for Toyota. But here we are. Everything balanced itself out,
Yeah.
right? Everything balanced itself out.
You had on another freaking weird one you want to hear. On Sunday night, Cody Ware had the fastest freaking lap.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What's going on?
That came out of left field. But, all right. Let's talk about this, as we wrap up with Carson Hocevar, the drivers' discussions and all that type of stuff. In-season tournament, we are now down to the Final Four. How did we get there? Well, Todd Gilliland ends up advancing over Alex Bowman, 25th over 32. He finished 19th. Bowman finished 22nd. Damn it. The little engine that could. I thought Bowman was going to do it.
I think that's the only one when you and me got wrong. Who got the other one? All the other ones right.
Battle of the Chases. Chase Elliott advanced over Chase Briscoe. Christopher Bell ended up beating out his JGR teammate, Denny Hamlin. And the Battle of Aaron Blaney's Broken Heart. Ryan Blaney ended up knocking out William Byron. So, all right, Final Four is set this week, Jake, at North Wilkesboro. We have Chase Elliott against 25th ranked Todd Gilliland. And then we have 3rd ranked Ryan Blaney over 10th ranked Christopher Bell. Man, it's gonna be an interesting. This is pretty freaking
Dude,
interesting.
that is. I'll give Chase the win over what's his name, Gilliland. But man, the other one, because either one of them could win this race. I feel like.
Yeah, it's interesting because and when NASCAR set this in-season tournament up, I think that this is exactly what they wanted and designed for to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think Chase is going to automatically get through Todd Gilliland unless Chase has a mechanical failure. But you got Chase Elliott against either Christopher Bell or Ryan Blaney. Man, what a final for the in-season challenge that's going to be at Indianapolis.
Well, here's what and this is what I would say. If you're Chase Elliott, unfortunately, I know Blaney's your buddy. You want Bell to beat him this week because Blaney's really good at Indy.
Yeah.
Bell, not so much.
Yeah, well, that's my whole thing. Like, you're going to either get Chase Elliott against Christopher Bell or Ryan Blaney in the championship. I mean, you could get Todd Gilliland. You could.
You could.
Realistically speaking, though, on a short track, I'm taking Elliott over Gilliland.
Yeah.
But this is, like I said, NASCAR, the designers, like, you guys, man, they got to be freaking amped by this. This is exactly probably what they were looking for when they created this idea of the in-season challenge.
Yeah, I don't think last year is what they were looking for.
No, Ty against Ty Dillon. I mean, Little Engine that could was like 2 dark horses, I'm going to go Chase Elliott against Gilliland, and I'm picking Bell to go over Blaney. I think Bell wins this race.
Yeah.
I think Bell ends up winning the race. I think it's going to be Bell, Elliott at Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier I had Bell win this race, and I think Elliott beats Gilliland. So, yeah, I mean, I think you and me have the same picks again. That we had the same ones last week. I like them.
I can't believe we're at the end of the in-season challenge already.
I know. Dude, this year has flown by, man.
I know. It really has. It really has. All right. That's going to wrap us up with Atlanta, in-season challenge, all that type of stuff. Let's talk, before we head to driveraverages.com for our picks this week, let's get into the points. Denny Hamlin, still your points leader, plus 24, only 24 now. Second place is Tyler Reddick. He's minus 24. Ryan Blaney, he's third. He's been tapping into that points lead, minus 65. Ty Gibbs is in fourth. Chase Elliott's in fifth. Kyle Larson's in sixth. Chris Buescher's in seventh. Carson Hocevar is in eighth. Christopher Bell is in ninth. Chase Briscoe's 10th. Suarez sits 11th in the points. Byron sits 12th. Bubba Wallace sits 13th. Austin Cindric sits 14th. Shane Van Gisbergen sits 15th. And Eric Jones is 16th. That's your top 16 in the chase. Joey Logano is now 17th in the points. He sits only 8 points behind Eric Jones. Ryan Preece, is 18th. He's 26 behind Eric Jones. And then 19th is Brad Keselowski, who currently sits 43 points behind Eric Jones. And last but not least, Ross Chastain finally creeped himself back into the top 20. Final note from the points this week, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick both clinched their chase spots as well after Atlanta. So we're going to start seeing clinches. I mean, Blaney could be clinched into the chase within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And probably Ty Gibbs. So.
Yeah, it could be.
Any driver you think is going to slide out of that, is there any driver you think is going to slide out? I would say this. I think the top 10 is pretty much set.
Yeah, I think the top 10's set.
I think the top 10 set. 11th, I would say Suarez, unless he has a disaster of the remaining regular season. He might be, Byron not able to get speed. He's fighting with Rudy Fugle. I would say the top 10 at this point is pretty much set. The rest of it, we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're going to see people come in, people drop out. It's going to be a good battle, I think, at the end of the year here to get those last few spots.
Yeah.
It's a close race. It should be good.
Should be exciting. All right. That's going to close us out on This Week in Atlanta. Another week down, another week to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got North Wilkesboro this week. First time at the track. Points paying race since 96. Obviously, we've been there the last couple of years for the All-Star race. If you listen to us in the preseason shows, who did Matt and Jake have in the preseason? Oh, Jake, you chose Christopher Bell. You sticking with him?
Yep.
Jake's sticking with Bell. And for me, I chose Ryan Preece. I think I was high after you won the Clash. I'm not
see that happen.
No, it was not high, but I'm not sticking with Preece this week. I am actually going with I'm going with Bell. I'm changing to Bell. So pretty excited. I do think that Bell, this is the week that he ends up getting his first win. I really do. I don't think that there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think that Bell's going to be going down there, best driver on the circuit. I think he's going to, he's really hot right now. He's just, and I think he's going to just basically attack this week in North Wilkesboro. Short track racing, another 7 o'clock start on TNT, which, god damn it, man. Please, why in the world are we doing 7 o'clock starts on Sunday night?
And dude, this is gonna be back. There's gonna be a lot. I feel there's gonna be a lot of cautions.
Yeah. So we picked our winners. Jake, who's your ones to watch this week?
One to watch. I want who I'm gonna watch this week, and the only reason because I think he's probably the next best one this week that could probably win. I like Ty Gibbs to watch this week.
Short track, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
a good one.
Ty Gibbs, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, right now, on short track performance since 2023, sits 12th in driveraverages.com in 20 races, 1 win, 4 top 10 or top 5s, 7 top 10s, 465 laps led. I kind of like that pick.
Yeah.
I kind of like that pick of Ty Gibbs. So Ty Gibbs is your one to watch. So you're going Bell and Ty Gibbs. I'm going to go Bell, and one to watch for me on short tracks. I mean, if there's a week to do it, it's got to be William Byron. It's got to
figure out how to get speed in that car.
Yeah, if they get speed, I mean, right now he sits 8th among active drivers in the Cup Series of short tracks. 13 average finish, 3 wins, 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 707 laps led. Dude, this has got to be the week that he's got to, again, hit the single, get yourself rolling on momentum. We're halfway through the season. We haven't seen that 24 car in the victory lane. Not used to not seeing that. Get it done this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then your dark horse.
I'm gonna just throw a bombshell out there, man, because there's no really stats on this track, so everything's up in the freaking air. I'm taking Brad K.
I mean, I wasn't picking Brad K because I'm so tired of picking Brad K and have my heart broken. Brad K is like the ex-girlfriend that broke my heart. I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
It's
I
either
gotta
gonna be
move on.
Brad K or Bowman, but I'm like, I'm gonna do Brad K.
Yeah, well, funny. Haha. I am. My dark horse is gonna be Austin Dillon. I kind of like AD this week. On short tracks, I mean, he sits 17th in average finish, according to driveraverage.com on short tracks, 17.1 average finish. 2 wins, 2 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and 142 laps led. I have a feeling that these turns are going to run like Richmond. I mean, this is for points now. This is for points.
Yeah.
I mean, depends how Austin Dillon qualifies. So if Austin Dillon doesn't have a good qualifying effort, the day's shot. But if he has a great qualifying effort, dude, look at that driver in the number 3 car. I like Austin Dillon as my dark horse.
I was really gonna say that if he qualifies good, yeah, he could be in it for sure.
He could be dangerous. Yeah, I like that pick this week. Anyways, that's going to be our picks this week going into North Wilkesboro. Jake, one thing I want to do before we close out tonight's show with all of you this evening. I made the comment already. I am so sick and tired of these 7 o'clock Sunday night starts. Right? I think NASCAR personally screwed the pooch on this. I think these past 2 weeks should have been 7 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah, I agree.
If I was the schedule maker, I would add more Saturday night races. Now, what does that mean? Everything on Fox would be Sunday afternoons. I think that's completely fine. 3 o'clock Saturday afternoons. Amazon Prime's portion of the schedule. Well, you have the Coke 600, you have Nashville, you have Michigan, you got Pocono, and then you'll probably have some random street course in there. Street course ain't going to be ran at night, no big deal, that's Sunday afternoon. Pocono, Michigan, don't have lights, Sunday afternoon, done. Charlotte, we already know where Charlotte races and all that type of stuff. That stays on Sunday night as well. And Nashville is my one Sunday night race of the season. Sunday night race. Now, on the TNT portion of the schedule, right, you have Sonoma. We'll go past this season. We have Sonoma, we got Chicagoland, then you have Atlanta, North Wilkesboro, and Indy. Indy doesn't have lights. That runs on Sunday afternoon. Chicagoland, that's fine, 4th of July weekend. I'm not a fan of Sunday night racing, but you know what? You guys want to put it on there? That's fine. Good. Take care of it. Atlanta, North Wilkesboro should have been on Saturday night racing. Those tracks deserve a Saturday night race date. And then my other Saturday night race dates of the season would be Richmond, Bristol, and Daytona. So I would say 5 Saturday night races, please, moving forward. Some of these tracks deserve Saturday nights. It is way more entertaining. Also, final point from tonight's episode, and I know some fans are going to hate me for saying this, NASCAR, get the hell off Lime Rock, please. Get the hell off Lime Rock race course, or road course. You have no business racing there. We almost had a guy who nearly had severe injuries the other day.
Yeah.
Lime Rock should be ran, and like on number 2, there's no grandstands up there, so it's bring your own seat. Come on, that is a BMX track, dude.
Yeah.
That's a supercross track. Like, knock it off. They shouldn't be on there. Like, come on. Lime Rock, get it off the schedule. I've seen enough of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, because you're asking about the night races, people that are listening, I'm gonna post up a poll on our Facebook page. I'm gonna put on there: should NASCAR run all night races on Saturday night? Let's see what the fans say.
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, I'm okay with Nashville and like Chicago. Like, I'm okay with 2 Sunday night races, but the rest, I mean, a lot of these exciting tracks should all be on Saturday night. Like Atlanta,
Yeah.
North Wilkesboro, Richmond, Bristol, and Daytona. Those are exciting.
Yeah, and then
Those are exciting. There's
hopefully people
storylines.
put in the comments like what races they would want to be on Sunday. But I'll put a poll up there, make it fun, make it interesting.
Sounds like a plan. All right, with all that being said, we're taking a checker flag on tonight's episode. Again, Lime Rock, get the hell off the schedule, please, for the love of God, before you get someone killed.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's done. It's ran its course. It's not cute anymore. Oh, 2 days. Like, okay, whatever. We're 2 years. We're done. Anyways, with all that being said, if you love what you're listening to, follow us on Facebook and YouTube at the Brooklyn Librarian Podcast. You miss our live streams on the weekdays. No big deal. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. By all means, you missed our live stream, smash the follow button on those platforms and listen to our show on there. And again, we'll be at Richmond with all of you in a few weeks. Super excited about that. And follow us on TikTok at the Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. Jake's going to be posting a poll up tonight on Facebook about Saturday night races. Chime in, comment. We want to hear your comments for next week. So with all that being said, folks, have a wonderful night. We are in North Wilkesboro. So if you watching a race at home, enjoy it. If you're going to the track, man, I mean, hey, look, this is a historical race weekend this weekend. First points paying race in 30 years.
Yep.
There is no driver that is in the current field that raced there for a points race. This is pretty cool. This is going to be exciting. This is what the fans wanted. Let's get this back rolling again and make sure that we never lose North Wilkesboro as a points paying race. All right, so with all that being said, again, have a safe and wonderful weekend. It is the dog days of summer. We will chat with you next week after North Wilkesboro. We'll be live Wednesday night. Again, maybe 8 o'clock. I do like the 7:30. We're wrapped up by 8:45. It's pretty cool.
I'm game for whatever.
I'm pretty cool with that. I like that a lot. So, anyways, with all that being said, have a wonderful night. We'll talk to you next week, and see ya. Deuces.
He didn't slam you, he didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you. He rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is